What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of our favorite and your favorite wrestling podcast, Lucha House Show Podcast. That's at podcast.luchahsp on Instagram and Lucha HSP on Spotify and YouTube. I'm Mars, the voice of violence. As always, joined here at ringside by my colleague, the former dreaded demon, Rowdy Rod, Cero Miedo. And today's episode is brought to you by the letter R. That's right. We'll be talking Royal Rumble. We'll be talking releases, and we'll be talking wrestling in general. Yeah, I know wrestling starts with a W, so you don't have to
But
write
doesn't
in.
matter.
We're not that stupid, but it's called poetic license. We're also going to touch a bit about AEW, touch on AEW a little bit, rather. I've forgotten how to speak English.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk AEW Grand Slam and the just announced the Ring of Honor show, which they announced like 2 days before the show, which, as with most of this booking of this event in Australia, has made no sense
The
whatsoever.
taping.
The taping, sorry, yeah. But
Yeah.
first things first, we'll also talk about a little bit about the first WrestleMania match. That's the first official WrestleMania match that's been announced, and we'll touch on who's qualified for the Elimination Chamber. But I think Rod, what if you agree, we should start off with the releases because there's been a few of them, and where we think that why they might have been released, why we think they might have been released, and where we think they might end up.
Yeah, man.
Um,
Let's go. You got the list. Let's start running to
yeah,
the
yeah,
list and we talk about it.
yeah. So let's look. Most of them were in February, but I want to talk
Mm.
about one that was in late January. Duke Hudson from Chase U, Australian guy.
Yeah, Duke Hudson, Chase U. He was pretty active on NXT.
Yeah,
With the university and all that stuff, the whole gimmick they had in
yeah,
there. So him getting released. This is just the back of newcomers coming to NXT. To be honest, I think
yeah. I
they
think that's the
just
general consensus. Yeah,
he
yeah,
was just mid cutter for a long time, and he wasn't having much. He was just filling in a
yeah,
lot filling in. He wasn't having major stories. So unfortunately, I think that's pretty much it. He just got released because of that reason, and then we saw what happened in NXT. We got to talk about him.
yeah, yeah. We've got to
Um,
talk about him. The other Ricky, but
we
we'll,
got a
we'll get to
Ricky
him.
Ricky Star.
Look, I think in Duke Hudson's in relation to Duke Hudson's release, a common thing that I think we're going to find with all of the releases is just victims of bad booking
Mm,
or non-creative booking or just um, r- r- uh, right place, wrong time. This Duke Hudson is like 6'5". You know, he's ripped, but there's just something about his look that is a little bit generic in
yeah,
my eyes.
well, Chase
Maybe he
University in
should
general.
maybe he should try growing his hair long. Maybe get rid of that beard, leave a goatee, give him something different than what he looks,
Mm,
and he might be able to have another go at WWE because he was with WWE throughout the pandemic, so he
yeah,
was there during those really tough times. For me, I think a good place for him would be TNA,
yeah, definitely. That would be a good place to
which
go.
because that also, as you know, leaves the door open for him to come to WWE. If he's booked properly, as I said, change up his look a little bit, make him a little bit less generic,
Mm.
get him booked properly, produce some good matches, which is more than capable of doing. Get him in TNA. He's still got that foot in the door with WWE.
Yeah, like look, that's a good thing about this TNA WWE alliance is the fact that even if they get released, they know they could go to NXT TNA and have an appearance in NXT matches and stuff like that. So
Mm.
you know, at the end of the day, now it's getting released is not as bad as it
No.
used to be. Because on top of that, you go either Ring of Honor, you go. It's so many doors that can open.
Yep.
In that case, so but let's keep opening because it's a few more that we got. They got
Yep.
released also got a bit shocking, but
We'll move on. We'll move on to Paul Ellering and the Authors of Pain. We'll do them together because they were a group.
yeah. Ooh,
What
that
are your
was
views on that?
look. The story was with the Final Testament. It was pretty good. It was starting to come up pretty good, but you can tell slowly, Kieran Cross, you know, and Scarlett started to like moved away from them, um, because yeah, unfortunately, look, it's an awesome tag team. They should have a better use for them in the tag team division, but they didn't. And at the end of the day, man, it's just so much you can do with so much TV time and shows and stuff like that, and things have to make sense. And now what it makes sense to make Kieran Cross big, which is starting
Yeah.
to get a momentum, and started to get a lot of storylines, starting to get in a lot, his foot in a lot of stuff. He mentioned many different stars. We know he has still business to do with Roman Reigns, with with the Wyatt. So it's a lot of stuff happening. So look, they got releases for the second time now. Where they could go, look, at the moment, I think it's another good option to go to TNA. Could be a good option, or even New Japan.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think again, victims of not too creative booking. Karrion Cross is head and shoulders above these guys. He's
Yeah,
Karrion Cross on a whole other level. They were supposed to be like his muscle. They didn't really write them like that, but that's the image that we got. Paul Ellering was totally not used at all.
yeah,
Paul Ellering is good on the mic. He didn't say anything. He used to stand at ringside and do nothing, and until he copped that mandible claw from Uncle Howdy.
yeah,
But again, there's like you said, too much talent and not a lot of TV time. The Final Testament was a great idea, but it just did not work, and it was
no,
quite clear that early on that it did not work. I would like to see these guys in Japan. I really would.
yeah, definitely. I think definitely New
Uh,
Japan together with another ones that got released as well, which is the Good Brothers.
yeah, we'll
Um,
get to them. We'll get to them.
they're definitely another ones,
Well, you want
but
to talk about them now?
yeah, because look, it's another one that for me, and it's also an attack team, and
Mm,
it's another one that just they absolutely thrive in New Japan. They
yeah.
had momentum in Japan before they came to WWE. When they went to AEW as well, they had a massive momentum in Japan. For the Good Brothers, is New Japan. That's the house. That's the place to be. So definitely they have to go there. They got released because well, they're getting used. You know, it's a good tag team. They were with AJ Styles. They had the chance to bring the Gun Club together. You know, but they didn't do it. So look, good for them to get released, but I think that one of the least worry about getting released because they know they can go absolutely anywhere
Oh
because
yeah,
everyone's waiting for them.
yeah. Look, this to me was a surprise. They look. I think it was also not the booking that they had wasn't really crash hot.
Yeah.
That group that they had with AJ Styles and Me Chin, that was good. That was evolving. But then AJ got injured. They didn't do much with them at all whilst AJ was away.
Michin went to
They're two
NXT.
seasoned professionals. They're a very popular tag team. But for me, I think the best fit for them because they don't want to go backwards. They don't want to go to Japan.
Mm.
Why would they go back? I think they would be a perfect fit for AEW at this point in time.
Oh, that'll be a waste.
AEW could use them.
That'll be a waste.
A,
Nah, they're gonna wait. They gotta
nah, but
wait.
AEW could use them. They've got to turn the corner. AEW's got to turn the corner. They can't continue with these shit storylines and mediocre booking. That something's got to change.
Yeah, but look,
Otherwise,
in
it's
terms
going to
of
end up
tag
like we've been
teams,
saying. It's going to end up like fucking WCW, like we've been saying for months, which we don't hope because we want a thriving AEW. A thriving AEW is good for the wrestling
yeah,
business.
100%. But look, the problem with what's it called with AEW is that as soon as the Young Bucks come back, they're gonna win the titles again. So what's the point?
Yeah, well, I hope not.
Oh, man, I'm telling you right now, hands down. When they come back, they're gonna win the titles again, and
But
that's
Gallows and
it.
Anderson have a history with the Bucks, don't they? From Japan.
Look, they did good with the way in AEW. I'm not taking that away from them, but for
Mm.
me, going to New Japan is not a step back at all for them because that's a place where they grew, and being in New Japan, it gives the opportunity to go to AEW and appear in AEW. So it's not a step back at all. And it's a place they feel comfortable, and they got a place for them in there. And also, if you look at it like really, great part, WWE could use them as a little bit of the connection to New Japan. So you never know.
Yeah, well, as always. Well, not as always, because we've been agreeing lately. So
Yeah, so
surprisingly, we disagree.
that's good. Finally, that's what we're
Next
waiting
cab
for
off
last
the
season.
rank. Next cab off the rank is Cedric Alexander.
Cedric Alexander.
Again,
Yeah.
not really used. I don't remember seeing him much on TV lately at
No,
all.
not at all.
And the obvious choice is AEW as part of the Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah, 100%. I think there's no other way. They're just going to wait for him
Mm,
90 days and he's going to be the next part of the Herd
yeah,
Syndicate. That's it.
yeah, that's an easy one. Next one, Blair Davenport. Again, not really used,
Yeah.
used sporadically in TV, not part of any major storyline, would pop up every now and then, and you're like, oh, okay, well, what's this about? And then nothing. The again victim of bad booking, not so great writing,
I would love to
and
see her
I
back
think
with Will Osprey. That'll be nice to see them back together again because they used
see
to.
for me, I'd rather see her in TNA.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. It's just that like what she had with because that's how she left New Japan when he went to WWE because that was the Will Osprey kind of like took a shot at her, and that's when she kind of went off. So they were pretty good working together. So it'd be nice to see them back together. To be honest, it'll be really good.
And the okay, there's two more. Sonia Deville, which wasn't really released.
Nah,
She's said she's not renewing her contract.
that's it. Yeah. So that's a
But
completely fuck you that cheats.
yeah,
Get it right.
I'm a little bit surprised, but I've got to say, like with all due respect, and Pure Fusion Collective is about what is. Look, I don't want to say nasty things, right?
Qué
I don't want to say
controversial.
bad
It's
things
qué
because I
controversial.
respect every performer that jumps in that ring, every performer that gets in front of the camera. I respect them. But Pure Fusion Collective just did nothing. Is nothing. Doesn't generate heat. Doesn't pop. They're supposed to be heels. For me, they were wasting Zoe Stark in that faction. Zoe
Mm,
Stark could be an absolute superstar.
yeah.
Sonya Deville was good on the mic. She's a good in-ring performer. I just, she, she just lacks something. And she does as much as she tries. She doesn't get that heat from the fans. So I
No.
think I don't know what she's going to do. Might not even be wrestling related. She probably does fitness stuff as well and things like that.
Yeah, like
But
look at
otherwise, if I had to pick a promotion, I would probably send her, or would rather, I would like to see her in AEW. I think
yeah,
she'd
wouldn't
fit
be
in
bad
with
to
that,
go there.
with the
Yeah, it
women's
would fit
division.
really good in the
Maybe
AW.
have a run against Mercedes Monet. Maybe push her up a bit.
There's no way to push that one up.
Yeah, I know,
Um,
but you know,
it's a wishful thinking. Um, no, I don't know. Look, Sonya Deville. Yeah, you can say like that trio didn't do what they meant to be doing. They just got a lot of people injured. That's for sure.
Mm,
Um,
yeah,
but yeah, no, they were pretty good figures. And the fact that she's leaving because she doesn't want to renew, that's a different story than leaving
yeah,
because
different, massively different.
massively
Yeah,
difficult because she's gonna be able to have that final, match
yeah.
and saying goodbye kind of stuff instead of just leaving because at one day to another, which is a surprise with the last one that we're gonna talk about now.
But actually, now there's more than one more. There's a
There's more
couple
than one
more.
more.
There's a
Okay,
few more.
okay,
I didn't see the rest of the list.
okay,
So, hmm?
okay.
Yeah, so we'll move on to the next one, which is Giovanni Vinci, who to me, it was again a victim of uh,
Creative.
Imperium was awesome. I love Imperium.
Yeah,
But when Gunter took off and then Kaiser took off, but something must have happened. We've all heard the rumors. All right, I don't know. We're not a dirt sheet here, mate. We're not gonna
yeah,
spread vicious gossip, right? But something happened that Vinci was not pushed anymore. And then all of a sudden, not only was he not pushed, he just wasn't on TV.
yeah,
Then all of a sudden he appears as this rich Italian playboy. And he does the job like he did a bout and he lost like in 10 seconds or something.
yeah.
And then we saw him again the week after, and then we never saw him again. And now he's released. I think for his real name is Fabian Eichner. I think for him, I think he needs to go to Japan for a bit.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, not that do not disagree with that. Yeah, unfortunately, they tried something new with him, tried to give a new image. It just didn't click. It didn't make sense. It's one of the things they tried. It doesn't make sense, doesn't click. The promos were really good. We
Mm.
were getting pumped, but I think the fans were really responding much to it. And after losing, I think the fact that he lost that quick, that's what it went shit
Yeah,
straight away.
he did the
Um,
job like he was a jobber. We haven't seen a jobber like that in a long time.
yeah, that's it. But yeah, unfortunately, it is what it is. Again, it's only so much time you can do, so much creative you can do with so many wrestlers.
Yeah.
Before you run out of space, and he just ran out of space for him.
The next two are the most surprising for me.
Yeah,
We'll start off with one, Electra.
yeah.
What do
Look,
you think?
look. It is and it's not because she wasn't getting used. She hasn't wrestled. She hasn't wrestled in a while.
Yeah.
Um, I was pumped when she came up from NXT, and
Mm.
I fucking said it many times. Please bring it up. She's fucking gonna go perfect in any of these factions. She got in one of the factions, like yes, finally she's gonna do awesome, and then she started fading, fading, fading. Now she became just fill in. Didn't have
Yeah.
anything much to do. Didn't have any feuds. Something happened around
Mm.
there with some wrestlers, but not massive big. So the fact that let her go is just the fact that probably Santos gonna get a singles push, and then the Garzas is gonna get finally a good run as a tag team division, but away from El Legado del Fantasma. Legado del Fantasma is gonna break up. It's no longer be Legado del Fantasma
Yeah.
probably. And they're gonna have their own runs, which is needed. I think
Yeah.
they need to do their own runs as a tag team and as an individual. Electra Lopez unfortunately just didn't fit in the women's division, and just that's it, man. Going back
And where do you
then,
think she'll go?
Mexico.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think she will go either Triple A or CMLL. She would do really well in Triple A. I think she would do really
Yeah.
well. CMLL is not bad option for her either. But yeah, I think a run in Mexico will do it pretty well.
Yeah. I agree with everything you said about the way she was used in WWE and the fact now that Santos Escobar is getting a massive push in singles and the Garzas are clearly getting a push in tag teams and that would dissolve. I would have maybe liked to have seen her have a run against Zelina Vega now that Zelina's on Raw.
Yeah.
Now that they've kind of split up the LWO in that sense,
Mm.
I would have liked that. But for me, a good home for her is AEW. That way, she does get chances. She does get chances to do dates in Mexico as part of that
Yeah,
little
that could be true.
agreement.
100%.
Like she could pop up in AAA, she could pop up in CML, LL.
Mm.
But I think AEW is a good fit for her, and again, that'll push up that women's division a bit more as well.
Yeah, it's not bad idea either. I agree with that one.
And the last one, which to me was the most surprising of all,
Oh
I
yeah,
just did
definitely
not see
this
this
one is the
coming.
most showcase out of
Did
all of
not
them.
see this coming. Isla Dawn.
Yeah, she was active in NXT.
Yeah.
She was in she was with what's her name again? She was
What's her name? It's yep, I've just got it up here. Alba Fire.
she was with Alpha Fire. They were
Fire and
going
Dawn. Tag team. What's gonna happen to Dawn? I mean to Fire.
yeah,
Her.
and they were kind of pretty good like storylines with like it was pumping.
Yeah.
So this is just shock out of left field.
Mm.
But I think the reason behind is because too many women and you need to make a space for Jodine Grace. I
For
think
who?
that's Jodine
Jordan
Grace.
Grace.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I mean they could have kept the tag team. Like women's tag team division is looking good. They could have kept that.
they could keep that, but at the same time, look, you gotta sacrifice someone at the same time, and
Does
and
that mean
and
they're gonna sacrifice Alba Fire as well?
probably they could. I think it wouldn't surprise me
Mm.
because she's having something, but not really. When Gigi, because she was with Gigi as well, but Gigi is
Mm.
now with Shorty Laka, so now they got that running, which is much better. So yeah, look, it wouldn't be surprised she's gone as well.
Yeah, well, those were the releases. As always, it sucks around this time where they get rid of talent, but that's the business. Some people
That's
get their chances, some people get released, and they come back bigger and better. Like Drew McIntyre,
Yeah,
for example.
exactly. And many of them
So
have done it.
sometimes
Cody Rhodes, bro.
things happen for Cody Rhodes. Things happen for a reason, and sometimes it's a blessing, and sometimes it's that push that you need to get up to that next level.
And they're young
So
too. Most of them they're
they're
really young,
young.
so they
Yeah,
got
yeah,
time to come back. Look,
yeah.
LA Knight came back with pretty much 40
Oh,
years old,
mate.
man.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's not
That's
all
not the end
time
of
to
your
come back.
career by any stretch of the
All right,
imagination.
can know. So
Yeah.
like imagine look at the run the LA Knight has having. So definitely,
Oh,
definitely they
killer
could come
run.
back. Definitely could
Megastar.
come back. That's it.
So let's move on now
All right, let's
to
get the bad
the
shit out
Royal
of here.
Rumble. The
Let's
Royal
get
Rumble?
AEW Grand Slam out of the way. I need to talk
All right,
about
you
this
talk
really.
about that. You
I
talk
need
about
to,
that. Go on.
not just that. Like the whole thing is, we're getting a taping. That's what we're getting. The Brisbane government put money for AEW. I'm pretty sure the Brisbane government was expecting PLE or pay per view. What we ended up getting is a taping of Dynamite. No, not even Dynamite. It's Collision, which is even worse. and it's gonna be after the All Stars game on Saturday night. So it's just shockers what's happening. We're having this stupid um, match between Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega against Kanushi Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher, one Australian. They're just giving a lot of space to Australian wrestlers. We got the Women's World Championship between Tony Storm and Mariah May, which is pretty good storyline. It's been good. Both of the storylines are pretty good. Then we got Buddy Matthews against Okada for the AEW Continental Championship. I know the Aussie just putting Aussies
Surely
just
Buddy's got
because.
to win that. Buddy's got to win that, surely.
Well, I would expect because I don't like both of like Tony Storm and Buddy. They need to win those titles. Otherwise,
Yeah,
what's
of
the
course.
fucking point of having them here?
Mm.
Then we
Yeah.
got this Brisbane Brawl, bro. Why are you putting names of places for this? I don't like it. Why are you putting names to stupid shit like that? Dead Raiders against Cope and Jay White. And I gotta say something about Cope. He lost it. He just lost it. Adam Copeland, he just lost it. He just the fans are not reacting to him anymore. This is plain, no pop, nothing. It just his promos used to be Adam Copeland. People like yes, you know, that. It, but Cope, what the fuck? And now people just not reacting to his promos. People just
It's
didn't
hard,
care.
man. It's hard.
It's hard
It's
to see
hard.
it. It's hard to watch it.
Mm.
We come to already superstar, coming back
Yeah.
from a neck injury. It was a surprise to all of us at the Royal Rumble. Then having a run in WWE, have a pretty good run in WWE. It created the Judgment Day, and then going to AEW, which he had a massive pop. And then he has a few injuries. Changes his name to Cope, and then just everything went to shit.
It's
I
bad
think that
writing, man. Bad writing. Bad
no, just
producing, bad
but he
writing.
does. But that's what I'm saying. With a veteran like him,
They're not using him right, like a whole bunch of others.
yeah, true. And I think that's one of the things. And it comes to Australia now, I don't know. I don't even want to like. It doesn't even appeal for me to go and watch it. Like Jay
He's
White
one of my
just
favorites of all time. And you live like an hour away
100%.
from the
Oh
venue,
man,
so
yeah, I could go and but we
yeah.
press we couldn't get press, but the tickets, dude, couldn't get tickets. The tickets were really bad. Go and watch it. And I'm like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, I know I'm gonna miss the opportunity, but at the same time, I'm looking at it, I was like, what am I going to watch? And I'm gonna watch a taping. It's like it just that just lost the whole bit. And then on top of that, we got this TBS championship with Mrs. Monet, Harley Cameron, which more than likely Harley's gonna lose.
Yeah, they're
Like
not. Yeah, Monet's not going to drop the belt here.
which you should, but not gonna have
Yeah.
to. And then we get this Ring of Honor Global Wars,
Mm.
okay, which is announced a few days ago.
Today,
Today,
today wasn't it?
today, where we got the Ring of Honor Pure Champion, Lee uh, Moriarty against Robbie Eagles. Go Robbie, good on him to be in there. But
Bumped
at the
into him
same,
at the shops the other day. Had a
but yeah,
chat
you
to him.
told me,
Must
yeah,
play. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
Robbie, it's a gun,
yeah.
35, 36 years old, man. It's a gun, a legend here in
Mm.
Australia, PWA, just watching him is an absolute gun at the moment. But he's having this last minute match against this is the Ring of Honor, and then another Ring of Honor. We got Chris Jericho, Big Bill, and Brian Keith against Bandido and the Outrunners. Like with Chris Jericho, that people just absolutely hating at the moment.
Yeah, but
No
that's his.
one's
He's a heel. I was watching an interview with him with Chris Van Vliet, and he was right. He like that's what a heel's supposed to. A heel's supposed to be hated. So it's
and I,
arguable that he's doing a good job. So,
but the thing is, that people is not hating because it's a heel. People just hating because they're sick of him. That's what it is. People's not hating like Chris Jericho. It's a different when Chris Jericho's a heel and you know that Chris Jericho is a heel, then you want to hate. Like you're like fuck
he's,
off.
look, you're talking to a Jericho Holly from way back. He's a fellow metalhead, massive Kiss fan like myself.
I
So I
know,
can't speak
I
ill
get
of
it,
him,
but
man.
at the same time, it just I think people just and after those botches that we saw happening in matches, people just sick of him just being in the ring.
I'm
I
not a big
think
fan of the learning tree. I don't get it. I don't like it. I don't get
that's
it.
what I'm saying. It's just that kind of stuff. And then we got Athena against Ali Winter for the Ring of Honor Women Championship. And then we got the current tag team championships, Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara, and again the MXM collection.
Mm.
Yeah, just you look at it and you're just like, what the fuck I'm gonna go and watch? Like
Yeah.
just
Look,
like why?
I couldn't justify flying up there and spending money on the hotel and whatever for
Man, I
that
couldn't
card.
justify and I live here.
Yeah, I
Yeah, and it's
know.
hard for me because when as
Look,
soon as Grand Slam
but
came in, I was pumped,
yeah, mate, we all were. But
and then everything
look,
started to go down, down, down. Then
one positive thing that I will say is Harley Cameron is doing some good work now. Her star is
yes,
definitely on the rise, and I'm really
definitely.
happy about that. I had a chance again. I met her at a World Series wrestling event a couple of years ago that I went to with Renzo. Renzo,
Mm.
who's probably listening to us now in his office in Kansas City and yelling at us for being WWE marks, but that's not what we are, Renzo.
Go Eagles!
Yeah, yeah. Oh, he's still cut the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean the Chiefs.
Yeah, no, no.
Yeah, yeah. But look, her star is on the rise.
Yes, she's
She's
doing
doing
so
great.
good.
Now
Good
that she's doing
promos
the singing thing as well.
and the puppet.
Like I said, I had a quick chat to her at the World Series wrestling event. She's a
Mm.
very nice person. And we wish her all the best, man. Being an Aussie, she's hopefully things come good for her. And she's good in the ring. She's good on the mic. She can
Well, this
sing.
card is just stack of Aussies. That's pretty much it. But how
Yeah, but
many of
that's
those?
what you'd expect as well. Like it's like when the UFC had an event here the other day, and they had a bunch of Aussies in it too.
Yeah,
It's just
100%. But just it's
get the
what
cheap
the reason?
pops.
Just put him in there just because of it because they're Aussies, or you put him in there because of a good storyline.
Yeah, but
That's the thing.
AEW is storylines. But look, I think, and again, I'm not. I don't want to sound that like I'm being an AEW hater because I certainly am not.
Oh, me neither,
But
man.
this was done wrong from the very, very beginning. First of all, picking Brisbane. I know they get kickbacks from the government. Any state would have offered them kickbacks because it would have brought people into the state to watch it. Not
Yeah,
usually. Second mistake, booking it in a 50,000 seat stadium. Ridiculous.
yeah,
AEW is not that well known in Australia. If you're a wrestling fan, you know AEW. If you're a WWE fan only, you might not know AEW.
yeah. And
So
not
that
just
was a
that,
mistake.
you don't pick that stadium for a taping. That's the first of all.
No,
You can't just this
no.
the
But it
whole
was never going to
thing.
be a pay per view. It was going to be Grand Slam, but even the events like minimum 3 hours.
Yeah, no, but
But
even then, you don't book a stadium that big for something that's not going to be a pay per view or PLE. This is no
mm,
point. No one ever in the history ever has done it.
like we said last week, and we've been saying for a couple of weeks, you put this in a 16,000 seat arena in Sydney, for example, Kudos Bank
Sold
Arena,
out,
or in Melbourne,
sold out
sold out,
in
sold out
seconds.
within weeks. Simple.
Yes,
Like both big wrestling cities. Melbourne is a huge wrestling city, and it
big
pains me as
time.
a Sydney sider. It pains me to say that.
Buddy Matthews, man.
Buddy Matthews,
The only
you
one that
know,
we got here is Tony Stormman, but
she's
really
from the Gold Coast. She's from the Gold Coast.
it's a Goldie. So, but
In
it's
fact,
not even.
technically she's a
It's a
Kiwi,
Kiwi.
but
Yeah,
she's
I
from
know.
yeah,
That's not technicalities, but
yeah. Whenever a Kiwi becomes famous, they become Australian. We
yeah.
get that. Russell Crowe, Keith Urban. It's all good.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I mean, we wish them all the best. They haven't sold out the arena, which speaks volumes. They have 2-for-1 ticket offers. Blah blah
That's
blah
when
blah blah
everything goes
blah.
shit. Like that's when you start questioning everything.
Mm,
First
yeah,
the downgrading, then the 2-for-1. But you know
yeah.
what? Let's enough talking about that because it's just getting angry. We love AEW. Everyone knows I've been with AEW since day one. Fucking when it was just a rumor. That's why I heard so much what is happening at the moment. Um, do we fit in 5 minutes this or you just wanna
Why
just
don't we
do a second part?
Why don't we take a break and start the second part? We'll talk about the Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, and the first official match for
Too easy.
WrestleMania, and Mr. Ricky Stark.
Ooh, Ricky Starr. Yeah, we gotta talk about him. All right, let's take a break and we come back.